everybody. It's Monday morning, and surprise, surprise, I'm here. I'm not trying to be evasive or confusing on when I'll be live. It's Mercury has been interesting this time. Always, right? Like it's never not. And I find that the more I am relaxed into Mercury retrograde, the easier it is for me. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that I'm tempting the fates or tempting Mercury's ability to mess with me. I feel like it's more like how I went about giving birth. And giving birth, my children are 21 and 23. And when I went into labor, I thought of it like a marathon. And I thought, okay, I am going to surrender to this process of giving birth. I'm going to open up my body and allow these human beings, these bodies to come through me. And the more that I can step out of the process, the more I can relax into the process. And this isn't true for everybody. Milk had a great campaign for years, right? It was milk does a body good. Well, milk doesn't do everybody good. Milk doesn't do my body good. But at the same time, even though this might not be true for everybody, I do believe that it will move the needle for everybody if during Mercury retrograde we can just accept the fact that things are not going to go the way that we planned them, that communication will get messed up, and part of that, it's like a long time ago, I used to drive around Orange County, where I grew up, into the hills purposefully to get lost because I wanted to see if I could expand my ability to problem solve. I wanted to see if I could get myself into a situation that was not familiar, but learn how to trust my own instinct, learn how to trust my own knowledge and ability to get out, to feel my way out, to build that intuition, and thereby building my intuition, I would build my inner compass. And whether that's you're giving birth or you're navigating Mercury retrograde, it's really important to understand your own personal inner compass. I believe that's a lot of what Mercury retrograde is about, is taking us back to that time of rest, back to that time of reflection. So when it's really frustrating, when Mercury retrograde is as frustrating, is when you have a lot on your plate and you're still trying to go at the same breakneck speed that you were going at prior to Mercury being in retrograde. And so, or with birth, like you can't predict which way it's going to go. You can't predict the energy and the spirit of that child that wants to come forward. And that child could be any creation that you're working on. It doesn't even have to be, actually giving labor to a person. It can be giving labor to an idea, to a business, to a new art form, whatever that is. And as it's coming through, it has its own will, its own agenda, its own process of doing things. Ideas, I believed ideas have their own energy, have their own innate ability to want to be manifest. They want to be in this tangible world. They're in this element of air, and they want to come down to these ideas, these energies. They want to come down, and if it doesn't come through you, it might pass on to somebody else. But when it's your idea and it's your inspiration, your inner compass, you're knowing when to pause, when to move forward, when to recognize that this is not a time to, Mercury retrograde is not a time to push through a bunch of ideas. It's a time to reflect on those ideas and watch. We're on a road trip right now. That's why I'm in my sister-in-law's bedroom and, set up on a TV tray right before 10 o'clock, because that's just being able to go with the flow. And that's knowing, like, we didn't know we were going to be here. We thought we'd be camping. We're on our way to go check out a property, and that's not something you do in Mercury retrograde, right? You don't start new endeavors. You don't try to do contracts and all these things. Well, I disagree. I feel like as long as you move forward with a sense of the absurd can happen and will happen, and the unexpected is to be expected, it's like when I would get lost. It opens up opportunities It gives you offerings of testing your ability, of testing your inner compass, because you're not going to be able to go the same way that you tracked through, that you're used to being able to go. You're going to have to try something new and expand outside of the normal ways of doing things. And that's to me, that's exciting. And maybe that's exciting to me because I am a double Capricorn with that Virgo moon. So, I'm always pushing myself to do something that is uncomfortable, because I am so comfortable doing things always the same way, and I can become tyrannical. We all can become tyrannical when things have always gone a certain way, and we only feel comfortable if they go that way. Well, I'm trying to always test my boundaries and see what I can do that's different, see what I can do that offers me a new opportunity to look at the world, to look at myself, to fall in love with myself in a brand new way. So I'm sure, just want to explain a little bit of the planet in Mercury retrograde, just in case someone doesn't know. But I found the easiest way to, I'm going to do this. The easiest way to explain it is like this. Okay, so imagine if this is the sun, your perspective is Earth, this is the sun, and this is Mercury. And Mercury zips around the sun in 88 days. Okay, and so that 88 days divides about 4 into our, 3 times, right? Is that how it goes? No, wait. I want to say, so it goes around 4 different times. So to me, and it goes for about 3 weeks, right? So it zips around, and over here, it's zipping around the sun. So it seems to be going this way. And from our perspective, that looks to be going backwards, because normally it's going the same direction as us. But when it's on the opposite side of the sun, it's from our 2-dimensional perspective. See, it's going this way. It's not going this way. It's going this way. And so it seems to be going backwards to us. And from that means its energy, which is communication, seems to be going backwards. But the same amount of time that Mercury is retrograde within a year is about the same amount of time that we need to be resting. 1/3 of the time we need to be resting. We get 8 hours of sleep out of 24, right? So that's us resting and us bring in the knowledge and letting it sit with us. So this Mercury retrograde, like I said, it's only frustrating when we continue to try to do the same things. I mean, we can't run while we're sleeping, so why should we try to do something like running or pushing a business or all those kind of things during Mercury retrograde? It's a time you can go ahead and travel, but we were going to leave on Saturday. No, we were going to leave on Friday, but we couldn't leave on Friday because there was a storm. And so we had to wait. And then there was another storm. So we just said, okay, we'll just go slow. So every time you hit a bump, you need to be able to be willing to be soft, to have those ideas. And your river, if you are trying to hold Shiva energy very tight on your Shakti flow, then it will be very frustrating, because it will move and it will bend, and because it's trying to get you to expand and think outside of the way that you normally think and communicate maybe a little differently and move through the world in a way that you can be flexible and move those levees or move those like I said, that Shiva energy that holds boundaries, the sides of a river. If you allow those to flow and move, you'll find Mercury retrograde is a much easier time, and you can be easy on yourself, because a lot of times what we get super frustrated with in Mercury retrograde is things not going as planned, not going as we want, and then it triggers us, and it triggers us to wonder about our productivity, our lovability, especially if anything that we do. Hello, I see a couple people have joined. Especially if there's anything that we do in our days where we are used to feeling like, oh, I always get things done on time. If you've got an identity that tells you that you have to produce a certain amount a day, you have to absolutely work your 8 hours a day, you have to do so many contracts. You have to, whatever your production level you think it is, if that's in any way tied to your self-identity, Mercury retrograde is going to be more frustrating. And when you can allow for those boundaries and those restrictions on what you tell yourself is successful, if you allow that to be a little softer, then Mercury retrograde is this interesting time of how flexible can I be while keeping my course. How can I keep my course, whether that is, again, like I was saying earlier, birthing a child or birthing an idea or a project, or how can I allow new ideas to come in during this time? How many new ideas can I handle? And for someone like myself, a lot of times that productivity is attached to my lovability. And I feel like a lot of Americans were stuck in that idea that whatever we produce is somehow equates our value as a person or our value as a contributing member to our society. And that's why we're always kind of stepping back into this, letting ourselves be. And that beingness is more important than our doingness. We are human beings. We are not human doings. And so Mercury retrograde is a perfect time to recognize what does it mean to be a human being, not a human doing, because our productivity changes dramatically. What we want to accomplish cannot always be accomplished. And so then we need to step back and recognize the love that we are by just existing in the world. So on that note, I'm going to read a spell. It's called Give Thanks for Love, and it's from the Book of Spells. And so here we go. Give thanks for love. Think about the countless people whose love has made your life better. Family, friends, teachers, co-workers, and numerous others have shown you that they love you and they care about you. Romantic partners and sweeties have helped you see your own beauty and feel your own heart expand. If you have one, your animal companion has shared love with you as well. Take some time off, and I suggest to do this on a Friday just because of my traditions. I was always trying to tie everything in, as many different elements of magic as possible, but you could do it today with the energy of the moon and Monday. So you're going to take some time to offer gratitude for all the love that you have had in your life thus far. Gratitude for love is like water in a river. You always want to keep it flowing, to keep it clean and healthy. And so this actually comes from our mandala priestess, Yesha Matthews. So she suggests we soak for a while in a hot tub to prepare with salt and rose petals and maybe some essential oils. As you soak, release all within you that does not resonate with love. After your bath, anoint a candle that you will offer as a symbol of your gratitude. Pink for romantic love, green for community and family love, and white for divine love. Use rose, sandalwood, and or lemon balm oil as you run your hands over the wax or drip the scent onto a jar glass novena candle. Pour a glass of fresh, clean water and place it on your altar as an offering next to the candle. Light the candle and say aloud, "Great loving universe, full of magic and miracles, I give thanks for all the love in my life, all the moments of kindness and tenderness, every caring gesture or flirtatious glance. I honor the ways that love has shaped who I am. I am an ocean of love. I am a vessel of love. I am a being of love. I follow my path of love with a grateful and open heart. May I always walk in the light of love." After saying this, you might specifically list people by name who have loved you. Try to raise the vibration of love in your heart. Visualize it as a glowing orb of light, and then send those beams of light out into the world to those who have loved you and to those who need love. When you are finished, leave the glass of water until the next day and then offer it to the earth or a plant. This is a simple ceremony as part of a healthy self-care routine. Repeat it every Friday if you like, Repeat it on Mondays if you like. Repeat it on Sundays. Whatever day you need to remember that you are a being of love and that your doingness has nothing to do with your lovability. So that in this time of Mercury retrograde, in this time when there's been mess ups and, I tried to come on a couple times and one time it recorded and didn't post, and another time I couldn't get the internet and I zapped all the TVs in the house. I don't know what I was doing that day. But this is that time for you to remember that you are a being of love, not a doing of love. So give thanks for the love in your life, especially in this post-Valentine's time when we're thinking mostly of romantic love. There are so many different kinds of love, so many different words for love. And there is, that companionship with a brother or a sister. There is the love that is just for our world, the love for our animal companions, all the loves for our mentors, all the different kinds of love that is in the world. So I just wanted to come on today. Sorry that it's been inconsistent. That's Mercury in retrograde. And there's nothing we can do about it, but I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking about you, and I hope that you have a really good day. Thank you so much for coming, so much for those who will watch this later on.